Brand new Boeing-built fighter jets are now in service in Portland. The jets are the newest type of military fighter jet anywhere in the country.
The U.S. Air Force just pulled back the curtain on its latest aerial powerhouse, the F-15EX Eagle.
A fighter jet that is an F-15 in name only. This is not just an improvement in the world's greatest air superiority fighter, it's a national asset.
And this upgraded F-15 model flaunts capabilities so advanced that both Russia and China are reportedly scrambling in surprise. So what exactly can this upgraded fighter jet do? And why is the USAF pouring resources into more F-15EX models? The origins of the F-15. The journey of the F-15 started decades ago in the era of the Vietnam War. At that time, the U.S. Air Force and Navy were surrounded in a fierce debate over the future of tactical aircraft. Defense Secretary Robert McNamara was pushing for commonality in aircraft designs, even if that meant sacrificing some performance. But could one aircraft really meet the needs of both the Navy and the Air Force? Well, this vision led to the TFX program, an ambitious initiative aimed at creating an aircraft that could meet the Air Force's demands for a medium-range interdiction fighter and the Navy's need for a long-range interceptor. However, the TFX was just the beginning of a journey toward the ultimate air superiority fighter. In January 1965, Secretary McNamara threw down a new challenge: create a cost-effective fighter that could handle short-range roles and close air support, replacing the aging F-100 Super Sabre. While the Navy leaned toward hardy attack planes like the Douglas A-4 Skyhawk and LTV A-7 Corsair II, the Air Force preferred the adaptable Northrop F-5, which boasted some secondary attack capabilities. Then, in October 1965, things took a whole new level. The Air Force issued a formal request for a new air superiority fighter. So what was missing from their current jets? And what would make the FX different from anything seen before? You know, back then, combat doctrine was all about long-range missile strikes. Aircraft were designed for speed, packed with huge radars, but they often lacked maneuverability, and sometimes even guns. The McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom II, a workhorse for the Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps, was a prime example. It was fast and armed with missiles, but up-close dogfights? Not so much. Smaller, more agile fighters like the MiG-21 gave it a tough time in close combat. Missiles were unreliable at close range, and it wasn't until the addition of the M61 Vulcan cannon that the F-4 Phantom II found some footing. Could the new FX project solve these problems? And would it finally give the U.S. an air superiority fighter designed for dogfights and control over the skies? Well, the journey was pretty complex. 8 companies responded to the Air Force's request, eager to create a fighter capable of true air dominance. And by 1966, the concepts rolled in, featuring everything from variable sweep wings to blistering speed. Though these designs still leaned a little heavy, resembling the TFX F-111, they represented a crucial step forward in the quest for air superiority. This chapter in fighter jet history led to the groundbreaking theories of John Boyd and his famous energy maneuverability theory. Boyd's focus? Not just speed, but raw power and agile maneuverability, a whole new approach to fighter design. His group, known as the Fighter Mafia, fiercely championed a lighter, nimbler day fighter. What was their vision for this game-changing jet? Just imagine a near one. One thrust-to-weight ratio, a top speed of Mach 2.3, weighing in at 40,000 pounds, and wing loading of 80 pounds per square foot. It was ambitious and nothing short of revolutionary. Meanwhile, the Navy wasn't sold on the F-111 for its own needs, developing its VFX program for a fighter more suited to carrier operations. In May 1966, Secretary McNamara pressed both the Air Force and Navy to see if VFX could meet the Air Force's FX requirements. Could one plane satisfy the distinct needs of these two branches? After 18 months of intense studies, they had their answer: no. The Navy needed loiter time and mission versatility, while the Air Force was zeroed in on sheer maneuverability. But as the competition intensified, could the U.S. rise to the challenge posed by its rivals? The race for an air superiority fighter was about to take a dramatic turn. The fight for an air superiority fighter heats up. In 1967, a new threat took center stage at the Domodedovo airfield near Moscow: the Soviet Union's MiG-25. This high-altitude interceptor, made with stainless steel rather than aluminium, could hit speeds beyond Mach 2.8 and soar to dizzying heights. With its wide wings designed for altitude, it even resembled the Air Force's large FX prototypes, sparking fears that the MiG-25 could outperform anything the U.S. had in the air, including the upcoming FX. How could the U.S. possibly respond to a jet with that kind of altitude, speed, and endurance? To make matters worse, the MiG-23 was also causing concern, as intelligence suggested it might even outclass the U.S.'s trusted F-4 Phantom. While Tactical Air Command and Air Force Headquarters wanted a versatile fighter that could do it all, Air Chief of Staff Bruce K. Holloway and Defense Secretary McNamara had a different vision, a pure, specialized air superiority fighter capable of matching the MiG-25's performance. The Navy, meanwhile, shelved VFX and accepted Grumman's bid for the VFX project, which eventually became the F-14 Tomcat. By May 1968, the Air Force doubled down. The FX would be an air superiority fighter dedicated to ruling the skies. Why had the military gone back to machine guns and closer combat, despite early reliance on missiles? You see, in Vietnam, the F-4 Phantom, armed with long-range missiles but no guns, faced embarrassing losses to the MiG-21. Military leaders quickly realized that speed, a powerful radar, and an arsenal of air-to-air missiles weren't enough. A reliable close combat weapon was essential. Secretary McNamara then laid down the ultimate challenge. Could the Air Force and Navy design a superior fighter together? Fairchild Republic, North American Aviation, and McDonnell Douglas threw their hats in the ring, each planning to create a fighter that could truly dominate. To everyone's surprise, NASA joined the project too, proving that the U.S. was deadly serious about staying ahead of the USSR in every possible way. After a rigorous selection process, McDonnell Douglas emerged as the victor and began refining the prototype. Back then, it looked much like a twin-tailed F-14 Tomcat with fixed wings, an imposing design that would eventually evolve into the mighty F-15 we know today. After years of relentless development, the U.S. got not one but two stars in the F-15 lineup, the single-seat F-15A and the two-seat TF-15, later renamed F-15B. These fighters were supercharged with new Pratt and Whitney F-100 engines and the M61 Vulcan cannon, known for its brutal firepower, a favorite of the A-10 Warthog. July 1972 saw the F-15A fly into the skies for its maiden flight, and just a year later, its iron twin, the F-15B, took off. Progress was swift, and the Eagle soon found its wings. But could this powerhouse hold its own as warfare evolved? And was there a future for it beyond the Cold War era? In 1979, McDonnell Douglas teamed up with radar giant Hughes to privately develop a striking variant, the F-15 Strike Eagle. This wasn't just a new plane. It was the birth of the F-15 Advanced Eagle family and set the stage for today's F-15EX Eagle Mark II. But what if the solution lay not in starting from scratch, but in building on the legacy of the F-15? The story of the F-15EX reveals how innovation meets necessity in a changing battlefield. The birth of F-15EX. During the 2010, the U.S. Air Force faced a troubling shortage of fighter jets for the coming decades. After the Cold War ended in 1991, budget cuts and a post-9/11 focus on counterinsurgency meant the USAF's planned 381 F-22 jets were reduced to just 187 in 2009. To keep air superiority fighters around, the USAF tried extending the lifespan of 179 F-15C/Ds to the 2030s, calling them Golden Eagles, with high-tech upgrades like AESA radar, IRST, and the EPOS electronic warfare suite. But even with these add-ons, by the mid-2010s, the F-15C/D fleet was aging and increasingly expensive to maintain, while the F-35 program faced delays. Could the U.S. create a more modern, budget-friendly fighter to fill the gap? Meanwhile, Boeing was rolling out fresh upgrades for the F-15E for other nations, leading to the Advanced Eagle family, including models like the F-15SA, first flown in 2013, and the F-15QA, 2017. Studies soon showed that a fleet mix of fourth and fifth generation fighters would be more affordable, sparking discussions between Boeing and the USAF. Enter the F-15EX, a single-seat powerhouse based on the F-15QA that could replace the F-15C/Ds. In 2019, the USAF picked the F-15EX, and by 2020, 8 of these jets were included in the budget at a cost-effective price. Boeing's updates brought the F-15EX model into the future, equipped with AESA radar, IRST, EPOS, and the Amber system, which allows up to 22 air-to-air missiles, a true monster in the skies. So how does the F-15EX stack up against the stealthy F-22 and F-35? While the F-15EX may not have the stealth of its fifth-gen siblings, it brings something else to the fight: sheer versatility. This fighter can tackle multiple roles in all weather conditions, making it an insane companion for stealth jets. It excels in homeland defense, airbase protection, no-fly zone enforcement, and launching massive standoff weapons to support stealth fighters up front. In a bold commitment to air superiority, the Department of Defense ordered 8 F-15EX jets for a hefty $1.2 billion in July 2020, a major investment in the future of U.S. air power. The excitement reached a fever pitch on February 2, 2021, when the F-15EX Eagle II had its maiden flight. Just a few months later, it officially claimed the name Eagle II. By then, the 2021 defense budget had already injected $1.23 billion to back 12 more of these advanced jets, with plans to eventually amass a fleet of 144. But by May 2022, the Air Force adjusted the target down to 80, prioritizing quality over quantity. Interestingly, the first wave of operational F-15EX will fly without conformal fuel tanks, focusing more on agility and speed. So what's next in the Eagle II's journey? And what makes this fighter a must-have for the U.S. Air Force? In a bold move, the proposed 2024 budget aims to add 24 more Eagle IIs, setting the stage for a formidable 104-jet fleet. The F-15EX has already proven its worth with upgrades made for export, including the powerful General Electric F-110 engines, the ALQ-239 digital electronic warfare system, and a redesigned wing structure for longevity. It also sports an improved cockpit and digital fly-by-wire controls, boosting stability and allowing for additional wing pylons. But what's so special about these upgrades? And can the Eagle II handle today's combat demands? Unlike other advanced Eagle models, the F-15EX skipped the BAE Systems missile warning system, though it kept mounting points just in case, keeping that sleek aerodynamic profile intact. With cutting-edge avionics, protective systems, and an APG-82V radar, the Eagle II's situational awareness and pilot safety are top-notch. This radar can handle multiple tasks, thanks to its new cooling system and tunable filters, which allow for radar and electronic warfare functions simultaneously. Could this radar tech give the U.S. Air Force an edge in hostile territory? Equipped with the Legion Pod's IRST-21 sensor, the F-15EX can passively detect low observable threats, adding another layer of defense. And though it's mainly a single-pilot jet, a backseat is ready and waiting for a weapons systems officer to tackle complex missions, like working with unmanned aircraft. While it's built for air superiority, the F-15EX is equally capable of precision ground attacks, like its predecessor, the F-15E. And what's the true secret to its versatility? The Eagle II's standout feature is its open systems architecture, meaning future upgrades can be easily slotted in without massive overhauls. This adaptability ensures the F-15EX stays relevant long into the future. When it comes to firepower, it can carry a jaw-dropping 12 air-to-air missiles, or even more if needed, making it a flexible powerhouse for both air superiority and escort missions. While the F-15EX hasn't yet been tested for precision strikes, it's got the potential to carry an impressive loadout: 16 GBU-39 small-diameter bombs, 4 AIM-120 AMRAAM missiles, a 2,000-pound Joint Direct Attack Munition, JDAM, 2 HARM anti-radiation missiles, and additional fuel tanks. And if that isn't enough, it can even carry hefty standoff munitions like the AGM-158 JSM and the hypersonic AGM-183, adding serious firepower to back up the F-22 and F-35 on the front lines. So what makes this Eagle stand out from the rest? This advanced Eagle comes with a strengthened structure, making it a bit heavier than its F-15 predecessors. But it's far more agile. With a digital fly-by-wire control system paired with the powerful F-110 engines, it's built to maneuver hard without worrying about angle of attack limits. The system also ensures stability even with uneven weight distribution, and essential for staying in control during tight maneuvers. The F-15EX benefits from the latest improvements like AESA radar, infrared search and track, and the Eagle Passive Active Warning Survivability System, EPAWS, providing better situational awareness. These upgrades draw from the advanced features of the F-15QA, like a redesigned cockpit and a 20,000-hour lifespan, plus the Amber missile and bomb ejector rack that holds up to 22 air-to-air missiles. Could it still support the U.S. Air Force on the toughest missions? While it may not dodge the latest air defense systems like 5th-generation F-22 F-35S and F-35S, the F-15EX still makes a mighty ally for air superiority. It can take on homeland and base defense missions, enforce no-fly zones, and launch standoff weapons to back up stealth fighters in risky zones. But how does this upgraded powerhouse maintain its edge against advanced threats? The F-15EX's enhanced capabilities are about to redefine what we expect from air superiority. F-15X's versatile capabilities. The F-15EX's power core got a serious upgrade with the GE F-110 engines, delivering 29,500 pounds of thrust and coupled with a state-of-the-art ALQ-239 digital electronic warfare system. Engineers redesigned the wings, doubling the service life from 8,000 to 20,000 hours. In the cockpit, they traded the hybrid control system for a fully digital fly-by-wire setup, which eliminates the stability issues that used to limit the F-15's wing-mounted payload options. And what about the tech under the hood? To handle these advancements, Boeing added a new mission computer, an advanced display core processor, and 2 large aviation displays for the pilot and weapon systems officer. One radar system also came into play, mixing the APG-63 antenna with an APG-79 processor to optimize performance. The F-15EX Eagle II is definitely built to be a powerhouse in the sky, featuring a new cooling system and radio frequency filters that let its radar and electronic warfare functions run seamlessly. This setup, combined with the formidable Eagle Passive Active Warning and Survivability System, EPAWS, gives the Eagle II an impressive level of flexibility and durability. Wondering what a fully loaded Eagle II looks like? It can pack 12 air-to-air missiles, including AIM-120 AMRAAMs and AIM-9 Sidewinders, plus 2 AGM-88 HARMs. And if that's not enough, it can carry 16 GBU-39 small-diameter bombs, a 2,000-pound JDAM, and enough fuel to keep this beast airborne and ready to support F-22 Raptors and F-35 Lightnings. In March 2021, the first Eagle II landed at Eglin Air Force Base, where it underwent tests that left even seasoned pilots in awe of its sheer firepower. Fast forward to late 2023, and 2 brand-new F-15EX jets, the EX-3 and EX-4, have joined the fleet, each boasting even more advancements like a cockpit pressure monitor, new warning systems, and ultra-high-frequency antennas for satellite communication. But why is the USAF investing in more of these 4th-generation jets, especially with the Next Generation Air Dominance (NGAD) program on the horizon? The answer lies in the Eagle II's role as a giant missile truck, ready to carry a staggering amount of weaponry into combat zones. Lieutenant Colonel Christopher Way summed it up best, stating that the Eagle II has met every challenge and is almost ready to dominate the skies. With all these enhancements, this fighter is set to become an essential piece of the U.S. Air Force's tactical arsenal. The F-15X Eagle II has a lot going for it in terms of power, adaptability, and combat readiness. But not everything about the latest Eagle shines as bright as its operational features. Its price tag is raising some eyebrows. Initially projected to cost under $80 million per jet, the price of the F-15EX crept up to $90 million, eventually hitting $97 million by the fall of 2023. This puts it on par with, and sometimes even higher than, the F-35. As Harrison Cass points out, inflation, economic pressures, and workforce changes are largely responsible for the cost spike, throwing a wrench into what was originally hoped to be an economical choice for the U.S. Air Force. Despite the financial bumps, the F-15EX is still making waves in the military community, and the USAF is pretty confident with their project. In fact, Lieutenant General Michael A. Lowe, director of the U.S. Air National Guard, has praised the aircraft as a game-changer, particularly when compared to the older F-15EE models it's replacing. He emphasizes that the F-15EX's adaptability is key as they can put their operating system on there. Plus, the fighter jet can also integrate weapons and sensors. And how can we forget that the jet can do rapid reprogramming on that system without ever touching the OFP? That is a game-changer when you think about modern-day warfare. It's clear the F-15EX offers incredible flexibility and technological sophistication, making it a powerful addition to the U.S. Air Force, even if it's a bit pricier than expected. Thanks for watching. Do you think the F-15EX will be a worthy investment in the long run? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more.